Alright, everybody. So, I did some recording yesterday and I wasn't feeling too good. We're going to continue right off where we left off at the run part. The city's been attacked. My father and mother have been killed. We're trying to we're trying to get to the closest city to try to help them out, according to what I saw. Um, so let's see what we can do here.
Pigs! Don't touch me, or I'll kill you! Go to hell!
A picsába mi ez? Írjátok ki a fattyút!
Még sajnálni fogod, hogy megjelentél itt, te szarok!
It's impossible to fight more people at once like this. That is fucking ridiculous. Alright, this is where I die, guys. Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. Combat is hard in this game. That shit's hard. There is no reason for it to be as difficult as it is. But it is. I can't argue with it. They made a very difficult game. Alright.
Pigs! Don't touch me, or I'll kill you!
Fogd rendesen a disztót, hogy ne indosson annyira!
Go to hell, you Tatar beast!
Minél jobban vergődsz, annál rosszabb lesz, te ribant!
This is ridiculous. Alright, I'm being chased. Got an arrow in the leg. Maybe Dad should have taught you the way of the sword a little bit, eh?
Left. Hamburg is to the left, along the stream.
Go! They'll kill you all! Next turn left! Run for it! Give us hope, fellas!
Tekerem a nyakat, te nyomoronc! Hát ez rövid lesz!
Run for it! Next turn left!
Gyertek, Ani!
Run for it!
Ma a pokolban végzett!
I see a town.
Oh my god! Hey!
Jesus Christ!
Valaki!
Do something! Help! Quickly, everyone! Get your asses here!
Hey! Loose! Hagyjuk! Húzzunk innen!
Quickly! We're closing the gate!
Someone give him a drink. And bring hot wine and bandages. Tell me, boy, who are you and where are you from? What in hell's name happened?
I've come from Skalitz. They burned it to the ground. Slaughtered everyone.
Who? Who burned it to the
A
ground?
huge army. They attacked without warning. And they weren't Czechs or Germans either.
Who then?
I don't know. I've never seen armor like it or heard their language. Maybe Tatars?
Tartars, you say? Well, we'll deal with that later. First, let's have a look at that leg of yours. Grit your teeth, boy. I'm gonna pull that hair out. Easy. All done. You're lucky, lad. The arrow missed the bone. It only needed bandaging, and I've done that often enough before. War is a good teacher. Can you stand? There you go. Good as new.
Thank you.
If you idlers nothing better to do, get back to work. You'll have to speak to Lord Divish. Can you manage?
The sound seems really splotchy, like sometimes with their words or in the
Sir.
background music.
This is a survivor from...
I heard, Robard. Tell me, boy, what exactly happened? Did you see the ensigns of the attackers? And were there any more survivors?
So, I don't know what army it was, but it was huge. There were dozens of banners flying on the hill above Skalitz. The ones who did the slaughter spoke a strange language. They burned Skalitz to the ground, but a lot of people took refuge in the castle. I wasn't quick enough. And as I fled, they shouted from the battlements that I should come and warn you.
The soldiers the boy didn't recognize. They could be those Cumans of Sigismund's. It said they came to Hungary from the east, and now they're the core of his army. Sacking Gutenberg must have given him a taste for stone silver.
Scouts is a small castle, sir. If Sigismund attacks, they can't hold.
Indeed, Sir Robard. And our small garrison would be no help, even if we could risk sending them.
You think we're next in line?
Maybe. What's your name, boy?
I'm Henry, son of the Skalitz blacksmith.
I know him. Did he make it inside the castle? I'm sorry. It's in God's hands now. No one else can help us. Anyway, thank you for risking your neck to warn us. Robard, take care of Henry. Make sure he gets something to eat and some rest.
Yes, sir.
And get all the people inside gates. We have to prepare for the worst. Make all the necessary arrangements.
As you command, sir.
I don't think it's my headset either because it transfers over into the videos that I make, which is really just weird. It could be running too hot at graphics wise. I'm gonna turn them down a tad bit, see how I like it. We don't need if I can. I'm not even running 60 frames at the moment. Let me mess with the settings for just a quick sec. We'll go with 1920 by 1080. We'll have, we'll just run 2K graphics.
Something to eat.
You didn't forget to check the supplies like I told you yesterday.
No, sir. I checked and it seems everything is in order.
People don't like
Buy
it
a
if
couple
you
of kegs of wine when
are
you've
not
done your
supposed to.
orders.
If you enter their houses,
Make sure it's
they'll warn you at first, and if you're caught, the castle guard, for example, will risk immediate.
What was that noise? Must be the wind.
We're gonna go ahead and get some rest.
Must
Food and rest.
eat.
We need to find food first.
You're that lad from Scouts? What in heaven's name happened there?
It was awful.
It seemed like any other day. And then I saw thick smoke rising above the hamlet of Rovna. Soon, Sigismund's army were finished there and came for us. The order to attack must have come even before the alarm bell rang.
God preserve us.
I ran to the castle for shelter with the others. Behind me I could hear the shouts of the attackers and the screams of the wounded. Then I turned and saw father trying to save mother. They were both killed. The gate was closed by then. The men on the battlements were calling to me to run and warn you here. And with God's help I made it.
My God, that's horrible. You were able to survive. And our thanks for warning us. I'll pray that you see better times.
Pray that I see better times. People put a lot of faith in God back then, a lot more than I do nowadays. Nowadays people pray and say it'll get them there, but it doesn't. Can I get some food anywhere, please? Wait, I have food, don't I? Okay. I can't sleep. We mustn't delay. There's no time to lose, it said. Very well. Very, very well. We'll talk to him. So, Robert.
You've done well, lad. I'm sorry for your loss. You must be all done in. Why don't you go to the kitchen and have a good meal? Sorrow is easier to bear on a full stomach. I heard about your father. They say he was a swordsmith who moved to the countryside to make horseshoes. I can't understand why he'd waste his talent, but I'm sure he had his reasons. He had a fine reputation. It's a great loss.
Ah, milady. You are fortunate our good lady Stephanie of Talmberg has graced us with her presence.
Lady, I'm honored.
So this is our brave young man. Welcome, lad. Bozhena here will take care of you. No doubt you're tired and hungry.
Indeed. How could he not be, poor soul, after everything he's been through? He must be as hungry as a bear, aren't you, young master? Here you are, then. Eat your fill.
And a little wine to wash it down.
Thank you, my lady.
When you're done, you can go and rest with the grooms in the Outer Bailey.
No, that won't do, Sir Robard. After all he's been through, he deserves a proper bed. Let him sleep in a lodge in the courtyard.
Certainly, my lady. Young Henry here is overwhelmed by your generosity.
Yes, yes. Thank you, my lady. May God reward you for your kindness.
Eat up now. You're in capable hands, so I'll leave you to it. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, man.
When you've done, you can sleep in the bedchamber of the courtyard lodge. And don't forget to take off those filthy boots before getting into bed.
I'm loving this game. It's not wise to ignore hunger the longer Henry doesn't eat, the weaker he gets. If he fasts long enough, he can even die. Different foods have different properties. E.g., an apple won't fill you up like a roast duck.
Don't you start.
Oh well, I wouldn't mind a bite to eat, actually. I have to eat something. My insides are shriveled up with the hunger.
You're that lad from Skalitz. What in heaven's name happened there?
My word.
How rude.
Oh, good God. I need to lie down before I split my face open from yawning.
Today the patrols will be doubled. Keep your eyes peeled. If you see anything out of the ordinary, report it immediately. Understood? Yes, sir.
Yes?
It is I, Henry. Forgive the intrusion. I didn't wake you, boy, did I?
My lady, no, not at all. But what brings you here at this hour?
I thought you could do with a little wine. It's just what you need to help you sleep.
My lady, thank you. You really shouldn't. You could have sent a servant.
I was going to. But to tell you the truth, I couldn't sleep either. I thought of you while saying my prayers. How awful it must have been for you. I came to offer you solace. To let you know you're not alone.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
You're welcome. Now, Henry, I know this is all very new and strange for you. But I want you to feel at home here. You're not to worry about anything except getting better. God knows you've been through a terrible ordeal. I know what it is to be left alone in the world. Although your loss is much greater. But with God's help, the pain will ease in time. And it can help to talk about it, if you feel like it.
Their lip sync isn't the best. But hey, I'm not gonna complain. The voiceover is still very well. I'll tell you the story.
I'll tell you what happened. It was terrible and unexpected. The day started just like any other. Father sent me into town on some errands.
I went to the tavern now to meet my sweetheart Bianca. I went to collect a debt.
A fellow by the name of Carnage owed money to Father, who sent me to collect it from him. Only Carnage had no intention of paying. It got a bit heated, as often happens when there's money involved, but Carnage still wouldn't cough up the coin. Father was too generous for his own good, letting even a scoundrel like that buy on credit.
Oh.
When I'd done all the errands, I headed back home. I promised Father I'd help him with his work, and I was looking forward to it. He was forging a sword for Sir Radzik. The sword was taking shape when Sir Radzik himself came to have a look at it. He praised Father's work and said that with his smithing skills, he could easily make a living in Prague or Vienna.
You don't say.
But Sigismund's horde was already on the horizon, ready to attack the town. A horde of soldiers was amassed. Pennants flapped in the wind, the armour glinted in the sunlight, and the horses whinnied impatiently. They were waiting for Sigismund to give the command to attack.
How awful.
And then death descended on Skalitz. I've never seen a raid before, and it was terrifying. The moaning of the wounded, death rattles, the terrible screams as swords passed through flesh. There was nothing but confusion, blood, and death.
It's very sad.
I ran to the castle like our neighbours to take cover, but I didn't make it. I had to find another way to save myself. The men on the battlements called down to me to flee to Talmberg and warn you. I was lucky I knew a concealed path around the castle. I needed a horse to get to the safety of Talmberg and to warn you all.
And with all that was happening, you thought of others like a good Christian.
Then I heard a scream. It was Teresa, the mill wench. She'd been caught by a gang of Cuman savages who planned to violate her. I had Sir Radzig's sword, and even though there were several of them, and they were better armed, I had to try and save her. I wanted there to be at least one person I'd helped, and I succeeded, even though it almost cost me my life. After that, I stole a horse from them and rode off.
Really?
I'll never forget the horror. It will haunt me for the rest of my life.
I should have told the truth.
That's terrible. How could something like that happen?
God alone knows why he lets such things happen.
You poor boy. I understand your grief, but God is not to blame for the ills of this world. That is the work of Satan and those who do his bidding, those who are corrupted by greed, envy, and pride. You must not lose faith, whatever life brings. Fate has not been merciful to me, and my husband either. Although in comparison to the horrors you went through. I was young when I married my husband. It was my father's wish. Divish was a lot older than I, but a woman must bear her lot. Shortly after our marriage, before I even got a look at Talmberg, the castle was stormed and my husband was imprisoned.
Really?
My husband had some quarrel with Sir Havel Medek of Valdek, who decided to resolve it by force. He stormed the castle, burned down the village of Pribyslavitz, and killed many of our men, even the old chamberlain. He imprisoned my husband in the castle and put his own garrison there.
That's awful.
I was barely 18 years old, and all of a sudden, I was left alone with Sir Robert. We didn't know what to do. We went to Prague to appeal to the king and sought help from Divish's friends, but all to no avail. We tried for years, but it seemed I was destined to be left alone and my husband to rot in jail in his own castle.
Years, you say?
7 years. That's how long it took before Havel was condemned as an enemy of the crown. And even then, he refused to surrender the castle and release my husband. In the end, I raised the money to pay a ransom, and only then, by the grace of Lord Jesus, did I finally lay eyes on my husband once more.
7 years. And was Havel punished for it?
Never. And after 7 years, my husband returned to me, an infirm old man.
So Divish seems like a good, strong man.
Certainly, only he has many concerns. He had to rebuild Talmberg. After he was released, the king appointed him Burgrave of Prague Castle, and he was very busy. He had no time for me at all. But at least we were in the city, and there was something going on. And now, we're here.
My lady, you're still young and beautiful. Your best years are still ahead of you.
Would that that were true, lad. Would it were true. But what am I doing bothering you with this? You have troubles enough of your own. I'll go and let you sleep. I enjoyed our little talk, Henry. Good night, and God bless.
Good night, my lady.
She took the food that she brought for me. She took my food! She took my food, guys. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. It's just food, right? Oh no, the nightmares now. Now the nightmares happen. This game is awesome though. Like, so far I'm like an hour and a half in. I got nothing to complain about. A little finer details maybe, but oh, it wasn't even like that, Henry. Come on now, you're exaggerating. I get mom and dad died. It's hard on you. But it ain't your fault. Literally nothing you can do when there's an entire army, bro. Like, sometimes you gotta live to fight another day. This entire army, what were you going to do? Go in there and get yourself killed, and then there would have been no game, no story, no nothing, no main character to play as. So, good thing you didn't go in there and get yourself killed.
Henry, wake up. You don't want to miss this.
What is it? What's happening?
Come to the battlements. One of our patrols reported a company heading here from Skalitz.